So this is my theory of what happens in our head. Inner propaganda determines how we're led. We influence ourselves in the very same way as we're influenced by others every single day. If we can stop propaganda from being able to work, we can also stop listening to this inner jerk. Now, I studied behavioral economics, NLP, psychology, Bob McKee's Storynomics, and well, even neurology. I traveled to North Korea, Rwanda, and the US. I even studied Irish history, searching for the best examples of propaganda that I could find to explore how it's used to manipulate the mind. Now, I believe that propaganda is basically a war of voices that controls our mind and dictates our choices. The weapons of this war are the power of words. They're made up of stories made with nouns and with verbs. Now, the consequences are really quite chilling, because behind every bomb and every mass killing are the voices that cause us to create hell. And we've got voices in our head that do that as well. They do what they can to attack us, you see, because they know we don't often think rationally. But how come? I mean, with all the information that we have at our disposal, how are some still convinced of any crazy proposal? Well, this is how it works. The media put out the lies, social media comes along, and we polarize. We find ourselves stuck still to our positions, like we're the convicts of our own convictions. And the voices that we hear are loud, certain, and clear. They're emotional or down or full of fear. They often dominate our internal chatter like we're lost inside some inner rap battle. We feel what we feel, then the beat kicks in. And that's when the thought war starts to begin. Let me introduce you. He's the narrator. I'm the good voice. To my right is the hater. Who are you talking about? Got a problem with me? You know you got a big mouth, but it's obviously because you're the odd one out. You're completely alone. Maybe his name's Owen because he's all on his own. Sorry, you're me too. Have you really forgotten? Pardon me, that's true, and I feel really rotten. Know why your relationships ain't been very healthy? Only time the girls like you is when they think that you're wealthy. You've nothing to show for part 2 of your life. You're not friends, not rich, not even a wife. But look at all the things that I have done. 6 books, 90 countries, I've had quite a run. Sad you want a medal, cause you can book a flight, or put words together on a computer, right? But how many people have left you over the years? Girlfriends who left you, friends who leave you in tears. You know you aren't really hearing because you cannot accept that after all of these years, you're just still a reject. I'm not just having a midlife crisis on stage. I do have an important point that I believe needs to be made. You see, you convince yourself of what you think is true via this inner battle that happens inside of you. Now, he compares you to others and he makes you feel bad. He makes you guilty or angry or fearful or sad. He lies about what to do, finds ways to affect you. But why is this true? How does he misdirect you? Well, let me explain how we make mistakes. Our brains are efficient. There are no second takes. We create shortcuts in how we process our lives. We jump to conclusions and we generalize. Now, confirmation bias, that means we just want to be right. Contradicting items, we delete them out of sight and we only hold on to what we think is true. Information from the world then becomes skewed. Now, biases affect us like our feelings do, and they bias and direct what we're seeing too. For example, if you're in a terrible mood, it's easy to be depressed, anxious, or rude. Now, we rely on certainty in being right. We survived because we knew when to run, hide, and fight. Our fears and negative emotions, they keep us alive. They make us better and stronger, and they help us to thrive. So we believe all is bad because our feelings dictate it. And we're trapped in these feelings even though we hate it. We sell ideas to ourselves, repeat speeches internally. We tell ourselves stories that are reaching us verbally. All this happens inside our head whenever we think. Reality's building as fast as we blink. When you're depressed, you don't think negatively. When you're depressed, you believe negatively. Now, propaganda determines who lives or who dies. We're tricked into believing its dangerous lies. How it persuades, well, it's no longer a mystery. I mean, we're all mental slaves on the wrong side of history.